From Careco TV, one of the longest-running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventure. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, this is Americana Outdoors, presented by GARMIN. Last week on Americana Outdoors, we kicked off the first week of bow season at the family ranch of three-time FLW Angler of the Year, Clark Wendlandt. We brought along a brand new 10-point crossbow, and after spending some time on the range, Clark was shooting comfortably from nearly 60 yards. Heading out to the field, he set up in a small box blind and on the second morning took the first buck of the season. Clark was shooting 10 points Titan Extreme and harvested a great buck, appropriately enough a 10-pointer. This week we're back at the Wendlandt Ranch in Central Texas.
We've got a group of guys together here that we like hanging out together, and we're just hunting big mature whitetails here in Texas.
Nice.
At the ranch with Clark is Wade Middleton and Elite Series Bass Pro Jeff Reynolds, who you met earlier when he put an arrow into Porky.
I really like my bacon fresh, really fresh. He's sleeping, he's tired. All right, let's get this sucker back and let's get Clark. This can't cook right here. I'm gonna tell you what he's gonna do with this thing.
Dog is what I'm gonna do.
I mean, we're gonna have some pork tenderloin with scallops.
That's about right.
And then we'll go back and let you do some of that, cut some of those bacon strips. Make me some eggs over medium, please.
Let's go get it right now.
You know, when you get a chance to hunt with your friends or your family and you go to settings like this, it's so relaxing, and I mean, you forget everything. I mean, we haven't watched the news since we've been here. That's what's really enjoyable about a hunt like this. We've had success, we've knocked down a good deer, Crete's got a pig, you know, I mean, we're having a lot of fun while we're out here, and that's a really cool thing about a hunt like this.
Good enough to do a little damage. A lot of it when you're shooting a bow, a lot of the thing is your attire. I mean, you have to be dressed the part. I mean, come on, you know? Huh? If you look good, you shoot good. And action. Jeff Reynolds, K-R-I-E-T. Professional bass fisherman slash idiot. It's the first week of October. I mean, opening bow season, and that's what I love to do is bow hunt. That's all I want to do. Nothing against rifle hunting, but for me, a bow really, it gets me going. So we come to the ranch, and it's hot. I mean, it's probably 85 degrees now, and in the mornings it's not very cold, and you cannot imagine the acorns. I've never seen as many acorns as I've seen. I mean, when you're sitting in a tree, it's like it's raining. All right, we're hunting this evening, we're hunting, I mean, it's really early in the season, and the deer, the main thing they're eating is acorns. And we're gonna hunt a couple of acorn trees that are, there's a lot of them in the area, but I've been told that these two trees are like dropping more acorns than any place. I mean, so, you know, that's what they're coming in to eat on. It's early in the season, and that's the deal. So we'll get in there and see if we can't get a good old big and come in.
Coming up, we've got a lot of hunting ahead with both Jeff Crete and Wade from the Wendlandt Family Ranch. And later in the show, we'll take a look at a few handgun options from Smith & Wesson for those interested in handgun hunting. New from Garmin Adventures, Garmin Base Camp, an interactive map that lets you track and share your journey. Visit Garmin.com to download. Then head to Cabela's.com and check out Garmin's line of handheld GPS units, like the Garmin Rhino. We'll be right back with more from Americana Outdoors.
Get lost in the hunt, not the wilderness. Hunt with Garmin.
When you change the game, you make the rules. Introducing the all-new Stealth SS from 10 Point, the most compact crossbow we've ever created. 10 Point, there is no substitute.
Americana Outdoors is presented to you by Garmin, the power of simple. By Cabela's, it's in your nature. And by Frog Toggs, stop the rain. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. We're in the field with Elite Series Bass Pro Jeff Crete. He's on his way to a tree stand sitting up high in an old oak. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ranch, sitting in a stand of his own, is Wade Middleton. And some 70 yards away, a nice buck is gorging on acorns.
People wonder why deer like acorns so much. I mean, when you look inside this thing, that's just pure yellow meat right there. And that's a great mass for those deer this time of year. When they eat all this they can get, they're getting fat for the rut, the does are fattening themselves up for the winter. It doesn't get any better than this for deer.
I mean, look at this. That's amazing. I mean, solid.
Strapping himself in, Jeff is sitting more than 20 feet up. This old oak is overlooking a well-used path near the edge of an open field.
You know, they should come up that way. And, you know, there's another big acorn tree over there, so, I mean, it ought to be good. They got a big field behind us. I like it. I feel like this could be the one. We're looking at is going to be a little smaller body and hopefully have some coming off his head. So we get set up this morning and you know, you always think you're going to get one first thing in the morning because I mean that's prime time. but it didn't happen. I told my cameraman, I just had a feeling that I told him, I said, man, it's gonna happen close to 9. I really feel like they're gonna move late. And that's the deal with the acorns. They come when they want to.
And Jeff was right. It was close to 9 when they started moving. After the early commotion, about the time things started to settle down, Jeff looked down and saw a monster. This is a native Texas buck. Anywhere else, he might have been done for, but the Wendlandts are employing a strict management program, and neither this buck nor his traveling companion are old enough to harvest.
The Wendlandts, they have a strict idea in their mind what they want, what they want to shoot. But to me, that actually makes it a little bit more fun. They are looking for a certain class deer. They want to shoot really mature deer. When I say mature, I'm talking a 5.5 may not be to them what they want to shoot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. One of these days, when I grow up a little bit, I'll be able to shoot one like that. But right now, those are what we call pickets right there.
Although it was tough to watch them go, those 2 bucks will be able to pass on their genes into the herd for several more years. Coming up, Jeff continues his hunt, and his patience pays off. Visit AmericanaOutdoors.com and register to win. We've got gear from our sponsors, and we're giving it all away. We're also giving away fishing trips and hunts of a lifetime. Check out AmericanaOutdoors.com for all the details and deadlines. Unlike farmers, hunters usually only get to plow and plant their food plots on weekends. So the #1 complaint is that the plot didn't come up or the stand was thin. Delta Ag has developed a 3-step process that focuses on the soil, seed, and plant. And after many years of real-life situations, Delta Ag has found this concept to be a solid foundation to build crop performance from the ground up. For more information, visit our website at seedcoat.com or see your local dealer.
Julie Golaski, Smith & Wesson Consumer Program Manager and World Champion Shooter.
Joe Zanetti, Smith & Wesson Finishing Specialist and lifelong hunter.
Jim Dalton, Smith & Wesson Master Gunsmith. I shoot competitively, and so does my son.
Our people, our products, our passion. Smith & Wesson.
For an efficient way to break down your next buck or doe, the Bubba Blade can't be beat. As a field knife, the Bubba Blade performs well, easily breaking down game on the spot. Paul F. Taylor, long-range expert with 14 big game animals qualified for the record books, has more to say.
Just took that right off. You've got your pistol grip here for your trigger finger. Fits right in there so you're not going to slip. You have a Teflon blade. No meat's going to stick to that. That surface is absolutely repels anything from sticking to it. It's a real easy cleanup.
In the kitchen, the knife does just as well, slicing through steaks with ease. Whether your meat is fresh shot in the field or picked up from the supermarket, the Bubba Blade is able to get the job done. Hard meats, such as summer sausage, were sliced just as easy as a soft and juicy brisket. And the Bubba Blade makes slicing ribs simple. For more information about the Bubba Blade, check out BubbaBlade.com.
Americana Outdoors presented by GARMIN is also brought to you by YAMAHA, Real World Tough, by Nikon Sport Optics, and by Thompson Center Arms, America's master gunmaker. Welcome back to the Wendlandt Ranch. We'll pick up the action with Wade Middleton.
The area that we're hunting's got some really big trees in there, and so we're way up in tree stands, you know, 20, 25 feet up. Creates some unique angles, but you got to be, you know, a lot of times in this situation to be able to get drawn back on these deer. And there's a lot of deer in this country, and there's some big ones. I mean, there's a mazillion acorns on the ground right now. I mean, it sounds like it's hailing. And so the deer are moving a lot here, and that's why it's kind of hard to pick any one stand like you can later in the year when these deer are going to be on one type of food source. Right now there's 47 types of food sources, it seems, out here, and these deer are roaming a lot. So it's pretty wild how the hunting scenario is breaking out right now.
Ready for a change, Wade headed back to the house for breakfast and a chance to plan his next move. Meanwhile, after a lull after the late morning flurry, Jeff had a sudden change of luck.
We had gone a long time with nothing. And I looked across the field, and there was a pretty nice buck. And then I looked at the cameraman like, that's our deer. He was with another deer, another smaller 8-point, and he's right underneath me. He came out around, and he got out there, and I mean, you know, he's wide, and I'm bad to get excited. So, you know, I had to bring it down a notch, and we brought her down a notch, and you know what, made a pretty good shot on it, and everything was good. Every time I shoot a deer with a bow, every time, you know, I'll shoot and I think, oh, that was perfect. And then in your mind, you're thinking, was I a little high? Was I a little far back? Was I? Because I mean, it's high, you know, it's all this build up, and then, man, you got a second to make it all happen. Man, you know, when I get to tracking these deer like this, I'm just thinking, I want him to open. I just want to find him, man. I stress about everything, you know. I mean, I hit him good, I thought, you know, when we got blood, but in my mind, you know, I just want somebody to just walk like with a bucket. Makes me feel better. I hope he didn't go down that hill. Here's the deal, everything goes perfect. Tracking, come to the cliff, and look where that sucker is. He looks big, that's good. The other problem is, he looks big, and look where he is. I'm gonna have to call in cavalry on this deal. Hello.
Clark, you copy?
Yeah, hey, Creek.
You got any waders?
I need rubber boots and some waders and probably some rope. So, and probably a couple bottles of water, please, sir.
All right, that sounds good. I'll bring it to you.
It does good to have good friends. That's the whole deal. Having your circle of friends. Not bad, huh? That's a good deal.
With the help of everybody in camp, Jeff got his buck out of the creek and up to the house. It took a bit of work, but the job got done, and then it was time to celebrate. Jeff took a perfect management buck, a mature 8-pointer, and a great start to the season. We'd like to give a huge thanks to Clark Wendlandt and his family for inviting us out to share in opening weekend. Coming up, we'll meet Matt Rice and get a close look at a few handguns from the performance line at Smith & Wesson. With Cabela's Zones camouflage, they'll never see you coming. Available in both the Cabela's Predator Den ground blind or the Cabela's Outfitter bow and rifle pack. Find them online at Cabela's.com. We'll be right back with more Americana Outdoors.
It's for those who get up early on weekends and those who'd rather rough it than take it easy. It's for those who know it's not just a sport, but a way of life. The new Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system keeps food fresh up to 5 times longer with a rugged design and 12-volt adapter cord for easy use in the field, ensuring your game and fish is fresh when you need it. The Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system. Field it fresh. sealed fresh.
Now, when it comes to wildlife management products and services related to raising big whitetails, you don't have to look any further than Mummies Incorporated. Located in South Texas, Mummies has been the leader in wildlife management products for over 20 years and know what products it takes to get the job done right. We're the largest independent dealer of Purina's Antler Max line of deer feeds, in addition to our famous brand of Mummies deer corn that's utilized on ranches all across South Texas. We have a wildlife specialist on staff to answer your deer management questions and help you out with your deer program. At Mummies, you're a part of the wildlife family and not just a customer.
We try to be here for more than just some place to stop and pick up feed. We're here to answer anybody's questions and any kind of wildlife-related instances.
Before you make your next purchase of any wildlife-related items, be sure to check out our website at www.mummiesinc.com to see how we can help you out.
This is where 10 Point was born. Before there was a factory or a business plan, Rick Bednar and his dad Bill started this company with a shared focus. 10 Point remains the industry standard for quality and performance. Rick and his sons are making sure of that.
If I wouldn't shoulder it, we wouldn't build it.
10 Point crossbows. There is no substitute.
Americana Outdoors, presented by GARMIN, is also brought to you in part by Bubba Blade, the ultimate fishing and hunting knife, by Stealth Cam digital scouting cameras, and by Smith & Wesson, made in the USA since 1852. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Now for this segment, we're going to toss it over to our friends at Smith & Wesson and take a close look at some of the favorites in Smith & Wesson's performance line of handguns.
Hi, I'm Matt Rice with Blue Heron Communications. We do public relations work for Smith & Wesson and Thompson Center. Today I'm here to talk to you about handgun hunting. It's a great sport and it's something we encourage you to get out in the field this year and try. As you can see on this table in front of me, it's really kind of a wheel gun bonanza. We've got all sorts of makes and models that are gonna be for the most experienced hunter all the way down to the first timer. You know, handgun hunting is a pretty unique sport in its own right. Whether you're an archery hunter, a muzzleloader hunter, or a traditional rifle hunter, each of those different aspects has their own unique challenges that you face in the field. And with handgun hunting, these are almost sometimes times 10. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of these handguns that we have before us, some of the pros and cons, and mainly just give you kind of a broad overview of what handgun hunting is all about. You know, the great thing about both Smith & Wesson and Thompson Center is there's a variety of handguns for a variety of applications. So whether you're that first-time hunter, maybe you're an experienced hunter, and depending on what type of game you're after, we certainly have something that's going to meet your qualifications. You know, starting off with maybe a 22 or a 17 HMR, you've got a very good all-around small game handgun. Whether we're looking at rabbits, whether we're looking at prairie dogs, something in those ranges is going to have you a cartridge that's suitable for the task at hand. Now, kind of moving up the ladder, what we've got here on the table, we've got a couple multi-use guns. One in particular is the Smith & Wesson Governor. This gun is going to give you 3 different handgun calibers with both 45 Colt, 410, and 45 ACP. So whether you're in backpacking country, something you want lightweight to be able to carry with you, the Governor certainly has this advantage. Same thing with this 44 Magnum over here on the front of the table. This is a nice lightweight gun, scandium frame with a titanium cylinder. So you're looking at a 44 mag that's only going to weigh relatively around 27 ounces. So whether you're backpacking all day, carrying that rifle in bear country, but you still want something a little bit more for closer in, if you have to use it, that's a great way to go. When we talk hunting, everybody likes to talk big game, and that's really what gets your heart beating as a hunter. And when you're after a big game, you really do need a big cartridge. Now, a 357 Magnum, that'll do the job on most smaller game, but when we start getting up into the larger animals, 44 Magnum and up is really the way to go. Again, with Smith & Wesson, we've got a variety of calibers that match really what you're after and what configuration you're looking for to take into the field. One of my personal favorites is the model 629. A lot of people are familiar with the 29 designation, the old Dirty Harry gun 44 mag. Well, this is basically taking that design a little bit step forward, making it a little bit more hunter friendly. So with a 44 Magnum in large game, you can also shoot the 44 specials when you're out on the range. You want to practice those basics. But when it comes time to put the boots on the ground, the 44 Magnum is the way to go. These two firearms that we have on the table, 244 mags, are actually out of the Performance Center. So you have a couple of custom features that are going to make your hunting experience even more enjoyable. The first thing you're probably going to notice in a Performance Center gun is that tuned action. So when I'm using a double action trigger pull, meaning all I'm doing is I'm pressing the trigger, or if I'm going ahead and cocking the hammer before I make that trigger pull, you have a nice, smooth, consistent trigger pull that's really going to help you out with those accuracies. You're also going to notice in the Performance Center guns we have a variety of ports. This gun has an integral compensator on the front, while in this other 44 mag we have more of a 360-degree compensator. Now what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to keep that muzzle recoil down, allow you to keep your sights on target, and if you have to make that second shot, you're going to be able to do so. So a 44 Magnum is going to be a really good all-around cartridge for whatever you're hunting. If you really want to step up that game, maybe go reach out a little bit further in your distance, or maybe you're planning that next trip over to Africa, the X-Frames is really what's probably going to catch your attention. This model I'm holding here is the 460 XVR. We also make this in a 500. Now when the 500 first came out, it was recorded as the most powerful handgun. While when the 460 came out, it's still the most highest velocity handgun. So what you have here in the 460 is a caliber that's going to allow you to shoot a longer distance, but it's going to keep that trajectory of the bullet nice and straight. So for instance, say I'm sighting in at 100 yards, there's not going to be much of a bullet drop between 200 or 300. So for a hunter, that's a very great feature. So now I don't have to worry so much on my sight in on my animal. It's going to come down to those fundamentals: my breathing, my grip, my stance, support, and last but not least, that trigger pull. With the X-Frames, obviously you're getting a little bit bigger. The designation X, as a lot of Smith & Wesson people know, is the top of the line. So while we have our smaller K-frames, we have a little bit larger N frames, then we go up to the X. So with that, you're gonna have a little bit more weight. So it's gonna take a little bit finer shooting techniques to be able to control this gun accurately and make it perform the way it can.
Thanks, Matt. If you'd like to learn more about any of the models discussed in this show, we encourage you to get online and check out smith-wesson.com. Keep up with the latest in the outdoors at Americana Outdoors, your source for the best in news, tips, and industry innovations. Oh, hey, and if you're on Facebook, give us a like. We're always giving away free gear. Thanks for watching Americana Outdoors. We'll see you next week.